I grew up very stereotypically in Hong Kong. Like my real name is not even Jimmy. That's my English name. My real name is Man Xing. In Cantonese, Man Sing. It stands for 10,000 success. Yeah. I had very ambitious parents. And now I'm telling dick jokes and doing Tai Chi on stage, so. Jimmy was just kind of like an arbitrary English name that just sounded easy. And my dad, he named himself Richard. I was like, Dad, why'd you name yourself Richard? He was like, because I want to be rich. It makes so much sense. And then they named my older brother Roger after the James Bond actor Roger Moore. Yeah, but my brother hated that name. He was like, man, it makes me sound like an old white guy. So eventually he changed his own name to Roy. So now he sounds like an older white guy. And now his full name is Roy Roger, which is the oldest white guy to ever white. I was very good at math. That's a big Asian stereotype. I think there's some truth to that, not because of some weird genetic thing, just because our parents care so much more about mathematics and academics, right? You guys seen it? You guys seen those like Kumon learning centers in those strip malls, right? Kumon learning centers, for you guys that don't know, are basically detention camps for young Asian children. You can tell that place is kind of by the look of its logo. Because it's supposed to be a smiley face, but it's not really smiling. It's just like, man. My parents were way too cheap to send me to Kumon. They got a different strategy. They never let me use a calculator until I turned 15, so I can work on my brain function. That's an old school Chinese strategy. You know, so when I turned 15, it was a very special occasion. It was basically my quinceañera. My dad just gave me a TI 83 plus. And he looked me in the eyes, and he was like, you're a woman now, okay? I know I make fun of my parents, but at the end of the day, I love them very much. I think we all do, right? But Asian people, we don't ever say I love you to each other. That's just not our thing. One time I got high and I called my mom. I was like, Mom, I just want to tell you, Mom, I love you. And you can hear her start like crying on the other side of the line. She was like, oh, Jimmy, do you have a cancer? We just got different ways of showing love. Like when I see my grandmother, I don't give her a hug, I just give her a solid handshake. We're not about that hugging, and Asian grandmas, they're the best. You give her a handshake, she's like a vending machine. You give her a handshake, out comes a red envelope. And you gotta pretend you don't want that shit. You're like, no, please. Okay, thank you. That's just how we show love. My dad still calls me like 20 times a day just to check up on me. It's annoying, but I understand that's how he shows love. I was talking to my friend here, and he was like, oh, I haven't talked to my dad in 3 weeks. I'm like, what, is he in jail? He was like, no, I live with him. I just haven't talked to him in 3 weeks. I'm like, you do understand, if I don't call my dad back in 3 hours, he's gonna call 911. 911, what's your emergency? My son is dead. It's like, sir, is everything okay? Is your son dead? He's like, no, but he's dead to me. Okay, bye.
We walked through the Forbidden City, we rode in a rickshaw, and when we were leaving, I asked my 5-year-old, I said, what was your favorite part of China? And he said, I like that time we saw the truck with the pigs on it. Because at one point we were stuck in traffic and this truck pulled up and it had pigs in cages. And that was his favorite part. After the 15-hour flight. And I remember when that truck pulled up, because I remember looking at those pigs and feeling sorry for them, but those pigs looked happy. It was almost like the pigs were looking at me and my 5 screaming kids going, well, at least we're not that slob. I do enjoy traveling to other countries, seeing how different, but essentially similar we all are. Like the UK is not that different from the US. You know, if anything, you go over there and it seems like British people are trying to be different from Americans. They're like, oh, you drive on the right side of the road, then we're gonna drive on the left side of the road. Oh, you call your mother Mom, then we're gonna call ours Mum. Oh, you call that a cookie, then we're not going to the dentist. I know that's cheap. I did notice something when I was over there. You know, British people, they don't say the before hospital. You ever notice that? They're like, hospital? I was feeling knackered, so I went to hospital. Whenever they would do that, I'd say, stop that, that's wrong and weird. Are you trying to sound like a polite caveman? And I had a friend from London, he was like, what makes you think you're doing it properly? And I go, because I'm American and we invented the English language. It was a pet peeve of mine, so I did some research. You know why British people don't say the before hospital? Because they're dicks. Yeah! I know that sounds harsh, but admit it, British people always talk to Americans like we just walked into their jewelry store with 2 full bags of garbage. May I help you? Are you lost? Obviously, I love the Brits, and I would never do those jokes there. I have been lucky enough to perform in the UK a couple times, and one time I was walking through Piccadilly Circus, which, for the record, is a horrible circus. There's no animals. And no, I was walking through Piccadilly Circus, and I saw they had an M&M store, and I looked at that M&M store, and it just made me think of all the things the British have given the Americans. Like, our language, Shakespeare, the Magna Carta, and I looked at the M&M store and I thought, now we're even.
I like Americans. But you guys don't travel much. That's what I've read about Americans, that you guys don't travel. I've read that 75% of Americans do not have passports. 75%. Now, I know I'm in San Francisco, so you guys are going to skew the statistics. 75% of you guys, maybe not here. How many of you guys have got passports? That's a high percentage. With stamps in them. That don't say Mexico. Or Hawaii. Hawaii doesn't count. Cruises don't count either. Because people cheat, they go on cruises and they go, oh yeah, I went to here and here, I went to Jamaica and I went to Trinidad. No, you didn't. You went on a cruise. Cruises don't count. You don't get to see the country. This is what happens on a cruise. You get on the ship, you cruise to an island, and you get off at the port, get off the boat at the port, and you buy some t-shirts and shells and shit, and then you get the fuck back on the boat. That's what you do, you get on the boat. And then you get to the next port, and you get off at the port, and you buy some t-shirts and shells and shit, and then you get back on the boat, In fact, the cruise companies are tricking you. They're taking you to the same island. I love to travel. I've been all over the world. I went back to Africa, obviously, because my family's from Nigeria. I went back to Nigeria. Don't clap too hard. Nigeria scared the fuck out of me. I stayed in a hotel with the white people. That's what I did. I was like that. Oh, Nigeria is great. Oh, look, there's Nigerians. Okay, close the doors. Don't let them in. Don't let them in! It was terrifying. Terrifying. I was watching a TV show over there where a guy was whistleblowing on corruption within the Nigerian government, right? Whistleblowing on corruption in the Nigerian government on television in Nigeria. Whistleblowing against the Nigerian government in Nigeria. Nigeria? And he's being interviewed, and he's like, yes, I'm being interviewed, and what I'm doing is very, very dangerous. Very dangerous. You know, I'm risking my life, but fortunately, my identity is protected. Because he had one of those black things across his eyes. My identity is protected by the black line across my eyes, so luckily. And then he bent down to get a drink. He's dead now, but he made an effort. Scared me. It scared me. Like, I've traveled to different parts of America, and they're guys that think they're thugs. You know what I mean? We're thugs. We're thugs. That's how it sounds to me. We're thugs. We're thugs. We're thugs. Go to Africa and see hungry thugs. I got robbed in a taxi doing 60 miles an hour. That, my friends, is thuggery.